Welcome to the session. In this video, we are going to see how to create task groups in Azure DevOps and see how we can reuse them. First, we will create a node build pipeline, and then we'll save the steps as a single parameterized task group. Then we will use it in another pipeline. Advantages using the task groups are like, we can reuse the task groups in multiple pipelines instead of adding each individual task. If we are not using a task group, we have to make the same changes in multiple pipelines. Task groups can be parameterized and can use the same task group for multiple conditions. Easy to use, instead of using multiple tasks we can use a single task and only required fields can be exposed to users. Now let's jump into action. Here we have two Node.js projects in our repository, and we know both require similar build pipelines to build and release it. Let's first create a build pipeline for project 1. Go to Pipelines and create a new pipeline. Choose Classic Editor. No changes required here, click Continue. Let's go with empty job. First we want to do npm install. For that we can add npm task first. Because we are doing npm install, we can keep the display name the same. Now we have to choose the working folder where our project.json file is present. Next we need to build the project. So we can again add one more node task. Change its name to node build. Then change the command to custom. Working folder to the same project 1. Command we can give just build. And lastly we will add one task for publishing build artifacts. No changes required here. That's it for the build pipeline. Now we can save and run it. Let's see the tasks. We can see the install, build and publish are happening. And finally success. Now let's create the build pipeline for project 2. Here you can either use the clone and create it from project 1 and just change the working folder to project 2 folder. Or we can create it from scratch. Let's create it from scratch. The only change we can see here is we are choosing the working folder to project 2 folder. Project 2 completed the build successfully. Currently we don't have any task group. Let's move our project 1's all 3 tasks to a single task group and then can use that task group in project 2. Here we will face one issue. We are using one constant value which may be different in other projects' working folder. Let's change the project working folder value to a variable in both the install and build tasks. Let's name the new variable to $package folder. Now let's make these 3 tasks to a single task group. Let's name the task group to build node app. Category, we can keep it as build itself as this comes in the build category. We have one parameter in our tasks. Let's not give any default value. Create it. Now we can see there is only one mandatory parameter to this task group, which is the same name we gave package folder. For this build, let's give project 1. Let's save it and see how it appears in the task groups page. Yes, we can see our newly created task group with the name Build Node App. If we see the task group in detail, we can see the same tasks which we created with the one parameter value. Let's go back to the project 1 pipeline and run it and see the steps. Here we can see the actual tasks and not the task group. That means in the build pipeline we can just see one task group, but in real it's a combination of all 3 tasks. Now let's remove the project 2's all the tasks and add our build node app task group with the parameter value project 2. We may have to use the refresh button once to appear the newly created task group. Now we can add it to our project 2 pipeline. Now we can save and run. Choose the working folder parameter value to project 2 folder. Success! Okay guys. That's the end of this session. Thanks for watching. More exciting topics are on the way. Stay tuned.